if he had just allowed the reader. Can I keep going? Oh, I see him out the window too. Now I have to repeat myself. Okay. Maybe if I move around more, I won't feel as nervous and I won't have to make as many outtakes. So just like he did in book 1 and book 2, he unveils, oh my gosh, why can I not say this? Book review. Brisingr. Okay, so this book is a lot darker and has deeper discussions. It is no longer the childish, naive, lighthearted type of novel that book 1 is well known for. Brisingr is where the distinction between younger readers and content that is more appropriate for a more adult audience starts to happen. There are repeated discussions and themes about violence, about death, justice or injustice, and also really important scenes regarding growth and development as a person. What I was saying about it being a darker book, there are dark scenes in this novel. Adding to that shift in tone, I also have mixed feelings about this novel because I did not enjoy the pacing as much. I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more if he had trimmed down a couple of pages or even several chapters from the book. There were subplots that I did not enjoy as much, whereas in Eldest and in Aragon I was sold on every single chapter and everything that was happening. In Brisingr, sometimes I was kind of just pushing myself to read through certain things just because I didn't find it as interesting. For example, Christopher Paolini spends a lot of time describing the world and world building. There was so much traveling in this novel that at some point it just felt a little bit mundane. I appreciate that Christopher Paolini values those small details in his novel, but since it is a bigger book, it would have been more impactful and meaningful for the structural integrity of the plot as a whole if he focused more on inciting events and things leading up or coming down from them. When you get into Brisingr, it's been 2 whole books already, so you don't really need a rehash of all of the things that made it great. And because of that pacing criticism, I ended up looking forward to Roran's chapters more than I did for Aragon. I just felt like Roran's arc was handled a lot better than Aragon's. And speaking of alternate arcs and chapters, you get to look forward to reading from Niswata and Saphira's point of view, and I really enjoyed that. I liked getting to know what was inside of their heads. So I've listed a couple of negatives so far about this book. I'd like to go over some positives. One of the things that I appreciate the most in Brisingr is the roster of powerful female characters that we get to enjoy. Of course, first and foremost, there's Saphira, Aragon's partner. I love how fierce she is. She is unapologetic. She enjoys the raw savagery of her beauty and her power, and I think that it's downright joyous to see that in a female character, even if she's a non-human. You also get to see Arya a lot more, and it's really nice because Aragon is not simping for her anymore. Of course he still loves her, and it's in the back of both of their minds, but he's set that aside and is a lot more focused and invested in their friendship. And because of that, you get to see him earn more of Arya's trust, and you get to see a lot more of their teamwork and just see them be more of an effective duo trying to accomplish very dangerous things. Aragon also has to answer to Niswata because he is sworn to her. He has sworn an oath of fealty to her. He doesn't just answer to her because he swore that he would. It's because she's just a force to be reckoned with. She is a very powerful, centered, determined young woman, and to be the head of the Varden is an incredibly difficult task because she is not only trying to do the impossible, she has to hold her own against several situations in the novel, which you get to enjoy more because you get to read them from her point of view. So that's really great. Aragon also gets to bump into Angela the herbalist a couple of times. She is an understated and underutilized character, but you shouldn't let her enigmatic nature fool you into thinking that she is not a powerful character. I would not be surprised if her extensive knowledge and skills surpasses Aragon in multiple ways. He does view her as a friend, but she is also someone you wouldn't want to cross paths with as well. At the end of Eldest, when Aragon left Duel den Varden, the elves were starting to mobilize because they're going to open the northern front of the battle against the Empire. So you also get to see Queen Islanzadi a lot more. She is another one. She is just like her daughter Arya. Whenever Christopher Paolini describes Islanzadi, it's basically Arya, but times 1,000. She is beautiful, but also in a terrifying way, and it's really enjoyable to watch her be a queen. So we have Saphira, Arya, Niswada, Angela, Islanzadi. That is a very, very nice amount of strong female characters. You get to look forward to more conflicts with Murtagh, of course, no spoilers, but as you saw at the ending of Eldest, he's not completely evil, because he did decide to let Aragon and Saphira go, but you're also left to wonder as a reader how much of a good guy he really is. You're not sure what he wants and what his goals are, and I think it's apparent that himself as a character, he is unsure as well. Murtagh is another one of the things that I did not enjoy as much in the book, and it's not because I didn't like him or I didn't think he was interesting, but I feel like, again, he is also underutilized. His point of view, his story, his struggle is just kind of described in passing. He'll say things like how much he and Thorn are suffering and how he's doing his best and how he's being forced to do these horrible things because Galbatorix has his true name. When I read those lines, in that moment I feel bad for him, but then the moment passes and it's gone. I feel like it would have been a lot more meaningful, a lot more impactful, as I've said before, if maybe we had seen a few chapters from his point of view. And I can understand how maybe that would be difficult, because then it takes a lot of mystery out of the book, because we still don't know why he is so much more powerful than Aragon. But I mean, come on, there had to be a way to have added his point of view so that we would have been more sympathetic for him. Maybe we could have had a couple of scenes of him and Thorn interacting. Maybe we could have had a couple of scenes of them being interrogated by Galbatorix or even tortured. Maybe he could have had his own subplot where he does something unrelated to the main storyline but just lets us flesh out his personality and his struggle. Yeah, it would have made the book longer, but at least he wouldn't have been so negligible. I feel like a story is only as good as its antagonist, right? That's one of the greatest praises for Batman. Batman wouldn't be as interesting if he didn't have the Joker. So yeah, mixed feelings about Murtagh. We don't know what's going on with him, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't really know either. So just as he did in book 1 and book 2, he unveils a plot twist, but you don't get just one plot twist, you get 2 plot twists, which sets you up for the final novel. Did I enjoy Brisingr as much as book 1 and book 2? Unfortunately, no. But was it terrible? No, it wasn't. I just had a few criticisms. So because of that, I have decided to give it a 7 or 8 out of 10. I don't know. I feel like 7's too low and 8's too high. 7.5? This wraps up the spoiler-free portion of the book review. This is your final warning. Click away if you haven't read Brisingr or if you care about spoilers. If not, let's dig into it. So I don't have a lot to say about Brisingr spoiler-wise, I think. I mean, so what I was trying to say earlier about subplots that I did not enjoy that we had to see Aragon literally walk everywhere or ride everywhere. That could have been trimmed down a lot more. And also the subplot of him going to And also the subplot of him going back to the mountains to oversee the dwarven politics and their election process for a new king. I mean, I guess they were self-aware about it, because the reason why Aragorn is sent there is because they're taking a long time. But even you as a reader, you feel like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. I'm not as interested about who the dwarves elect as their new king. I just want to see Aragorn leave and move on, because there's more important things. Because the whole time he's there, there's a lot of stress, because Murtagh and Thorn could attack the Varden at any time, and they're gonna get wiped out if Aragorn's not there. I mean, I thought that it was spicy and exciting that he tried to assassinate Aragorn in the mountains, and that is the inciting incident that allowed Oric, what's the word I'm thinking of? It allowed Oric that leverage. So yeah, I thought it was spicy and exciting that they tried to assassinate Aragorn, and that gave Oric the leverage he needed to get elected as the new king. And I also really liked Oric's grandstanding and his style of ratting out the clan that tried to assassinate Aragorn. And I also did enjoy the, what's it called? I did enjoy the punishment that they gave him. It's basically the same thing that Aragorn did to Sloane. Sometimes it inflicts a lot more pain to show mercy than it is to just finish them off right away. For Sloane, it was more painful to live a life knowing that he'll never see his daughter again. For the clan that betrayed Aragorn, I am intentionally avoiding trying to pronounce anything of the Dwarven language, because I can say it in my head, I do not want to try to say it out loud. But it's the same thing with the clan that betrayed Aragorn. It was way more horrifying to see them get shunned and ignored than it would have been for him to just get a clean and easy decapitation or something and then they elect someone new. I thought that was an interesting solution to the situation. It was just, I wish the situation was more fast-paced. I thought it was wonderful that Brom was Aragorn's father. It made for a really good plot twist, but again, I'm not sure that I agree with Brom's decision to keep it a secret from Aragorn. Yeah, maybe it would have been awkward to say, oh, I'm your dad, by the way. I feel like Brom could have told him. Maybe he would have told him in time. Maybe it was too soon. And, I mean, he did die. He did die soon after they had started traveling together. So maybe that was it, but I did sympathize with Aragorn in his confusion and frustration, like, why didn't anybody tell me? And then one last criticism, when Ormus died, I mean, that was devastating, and you could really feel it through Gladier. I know the actual pronunciation is Glader, but I like to say Gladier. You can see how much suffering it inflicts upon Gladier to see his rider die. But it just sucks that it was happening at the same time that Aragorn and Arya were slaying a shade, because it just took away from it. Like, it's so traumatic to see your master, to see the person who raised you as a dragon rider die, but it felt kind of inappropriate how fast Aragorn moved on from that. It was just kind of like, oh yay, high five Arya, we defeated a shade and we won the battle and we overtook the city. But I think he was more self-absorbed than he should have been. I think Aragorn would have been a lot more should have been a lot more torn up about it personally, having developed the relationship that he did with Ormus as his master. I just didn't understand why he was more concerned about himself, and the only sadness you really get to see him express is, oh, we're alone now. We have lost a powerful ally versus I lost a very close person. So I felt like that was a little bit rushed, a little bit weird. So yeah, I guess that's my overall criticism. I would have enjoyed seeing Christopher Paolini redirect some of those pages I was saying I wish he had cut out and put it towards fleshing out Murtagh and making the ending, the plot twist with Ormus's death, a lot more meaningful, and giving Aragorn time to grieve about it properly. But I have ranted long enough. Thank you so much for watching through the whole video. Please leave a like, subscribe for weekly book reviews, and leave a comment down below for what you'd like me to read. I'll see you next time. Bye!